Hitler wrote Mein Kampf from a prison in the town of Landsberg after being arrested during the Munich uprising in 1924. Nordlingen is situated at the center of a large meteor impact crater and has a well-preserved circular wall around the old town. Dinkelsbühl has a moat, towers, gates, and a beautifully preserved medieval wall that surrounds the town. While less touristy than Rothenburg, it does not have the charm of its bigger neighbor. The 15th century Church of St. George makes a nice stop in the center of town. The surprisingly airy interior has finely carved altarpieces and a beautiful organ loft. Rothenburg was a free and imperial city between 1150 and 1400, when it was one of the largest cities in the Holy Roman Empire. It grew rich from the trade between northern and southern Europe. Today, it is Germany's best preserved medieval walled town and a must-see for anyone traveling in Bavaria. Most of the buildings date from the 1400s. Our accommodations were just off the market square in what was the former home of the 15th century Mayor Toppler. The town's main drag was just outside our door. The center of activity in Rothenburg is Market Square. The brown building on the left is the old City Hall. The pink building on the right, currently serving as the TI, was the Councilor's Tavern. The clock tower, dating from 1466, was under repair, but when working, it reenacts the mayor saving the town from destruction during the 30 Years' War by downing a large tankard of ale in one gulp. The white building pictured here is the current City Hall. Its 200-foot tower is the tallest structure in town. Before Germany was united, it was composed of many city-states. Each had its own standards for trade and measurement. These rods that are mounted on the side of City Hall were medieval Rothenburg's standards for measurement. St. George's Fountain, at the bottom of this picture, was one of the many fountains located in Rothenburg. A source of water above the town powered these fountains that not only provided drinking water, but also provided water to fight fires. Many of these fountains were filled with fish on market day. Two buildings behind the fountain show the old-time lofts with warehouse doors and pulleys for hoisting grain. The city required a year's supply of grain in each house to withstand siege. The square is fronted by several other buildings, which now contain shops and restaurants. The Night Watchman's Tour is a must-do in Rothenburg. It's hilarious and informative. Show up in front of the Old Town Hall and tag along. Donations are requested at the end of the tour.
To guard the city at night. They were out in the streets like police, taking care of the city when all the others were sleeping. And sure, that was dangerous, because all the good people were at home at night. Those who were still out in the streets were the drunken folks and thieves, maybe even envy. That's why it was dangerous, and night watchmen had to carry this kind of weapon. It's called a hellbar. One can do a lot of things with it. It's for multiple use. And there were 6 of us, 6 night watchmen. Each had to guard his own district. Now it's just me left. I'm the only one who's still around, still doing it. Thank God. I had to get rid of the other 5 to make a living. Another duty night watchman had, that's why they got the horn, was to give a loud signal when there was a fire at night. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yes. But do you see any fire?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's see if it works. I was sick so badly, so well, maybe today. Wrong start. No. Maybe tomorrow.
Once a produce market, Green Market Square is now a parking lot that fills with Christmas shops during December. The beaver tail tiles on this roof are now required on all structures to prevent fires. The little fences at the edge keep snow from falling on pedestrians and catch tiles that are blown off during storms. Rothenburg's main church is St. Jacob's. Built in 1311, it converted to a Lutheran church in 1544. It was one of the stops on the Santiago de Compostela pilgrimage. Outside is a 14th century depiction of Jesus praying in Gethsemane. An original statue shows what 600 years of pollution will do. Stained glass windows behind the high altar are originals dating from 1330. At the back of the church, behind the organ, is the artistic highlight of Rothenburg. Tillman Riemenschneider carved this wooden masterpiece between 1499 and 1504 to hold a rock crystal containing a piece of tablecloth stained with communion wine in the shape of a cross. Below are 3 ornately carved wood panels. The center panel depicts the Last Supper in exquisite detail. The left panel depicts Jesus entering a walled city. Experts suppose it is Jerusalem, but Zacchaeus is pictured in a tree. The right panel depicts Jesus praying in Gethsemane. The main altar at the front of the church dates from 1466 and depicts the crucifixion with 6 saints portrayed below Christ. A small altar to the left depicts the Holy Trinity. Jesus, with his arms outstretched, is supported by a seated God. The dove on his head represents the Holy Spirit. On the main level of the church, there is an unusual wood carving that depicts slaves rowing a boat, hewn from one large log. The nunnery garden provides a quiet diversion from walking the town. Nuns concocted herbal mixtures to cure aches and pains, and used the more poisonous herbs to end all aches and pains. A lazy Susan, built into the wall of the nunnery, allowed the nuns to pass food to the needy without being seen. The Franciscan church, dating from 1285, is the oldest in Rothenburg. This gate led out to the castle garden area. The large wooden door would be open during the day, but closed at night. Individuals who arrived after curfew could enter through the smaller manhole door if they could persuade or bribe the guard. The area outside this gate was the site of the original castle built in the 14th century. The only part of the castle to survive is this small chapel that is a memorial to Jews killed in the 1298 slaughter. Back inside the gate, you can shop at the famous store of Kathy Wolfert, where we purchased a Christmas pyramid and Polish pottery to ship back home. No visit to Rothenburg is complete unless you spend time walking the walls of this medieval wonder. The eastern part of the town was destroyed in Allied bombing late in World War II. The names seen along some sections of the walls are people who donated money to rebuild them after the war.